baby Jesus, baby Jesus. I love you, I love you. You are my savior, you are my savior. Every day, every day. Mtoto Yesu, mtoto Yesu. Nakupenda, nakupenda. Wewe ni Mwokozi, wewe ni Mwokozi wa kila siku, wa kila siku.
Hi everyone, welcome once again to Thursday Live Series. Yes, so I'm Purity Mwende.
Still the one and only Samuel Wate.
This is Baron Mbori.
But now for me, it is concentrating with, spreading the word of God.
Yes. How can you give out what you don't have?
Where your desires, that is where your calling is.
And teach the children about the word of God.
Also, when we get an opportunity,
it brings a lot of people together.
Different people, different ages.
Please take note and be ready to ask Jesus, what is your plan for my life? And I know, I not only believe, I know someone can only have a fulfilled life when he or she is really under the control of Jesus and also being led by Jesus.
Hi everyone, welcome once again to Thursday Live Series here at Diguna_Youth_Ministry on Instagram, Diguna Youth Ministry on Facebook and on YouTube as well. We are so excited. We are continuing with our series Ministry, and my name is Purity Mwende. I love God, I love good people, good vibes. Okay, people. Do we have good people? Yeah, I love people, I love good vibes, good food, and everything good. And I believe it's the trend in Diguna, or the usual bit of it. And so as usual, we have the one and only
Samuel Wate. Well, I'm a good person. You're asking if they're good people?
Chema Chajuza.
Anyway, good works come from Machatu. My name is still Samuel Wate. Welcome once again to Thursday Live Series. And yeah, we have someone here.
We're both excited for this interview. Truth is, he's been a friend, he's been a boss, he's been a father. I usually feel nice the fact that I can call him father, and I'm too old for him to have a daughter my age. But yeah. So we are not going to state his name, but he's going to introduce himself after he has answered a question.
Where?
Yes.
Okay.
So
they didn't give you the orientation?
I thought the name comes before the question, but anyway.
No.
We move on regardless.
So at least you can choose to give an answer or to state your name to save yourself.
Maybe the question is, what is your name? So anyway.
Yeah,
We'll see.
but what is your name? Would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death?
Date.
Why date?
Date, so I can just prepare myself mentally. I can those things you have on your bucket list. Just do them, because like the day is coming, so just get them out of the way. The things you've always wanted to do, you postpone because you think I have time in the future. But if I know the date, then I can really push through and do those things. If I know the cause, but I'll be avoiding that thing like the plague. So I'd rather know the date than the cause. Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, what if the cause is one of the things in your bucket list?
That's okay. Because if something is on my bucket list, it means it's something I want to do. So if I die doing something I enjoy, kakuje.
I'm trying to think otherwise. They say prevention is better than
cure.
So if I know the cause, probably I'll be safer. I'll have more time.
Well, it depends on how you look at death. Yeah? If death is this gruesome stop, like a roadblock, whatever, then you don't want to meet it. But if death is like a door to something else, I'm at the end to paying taxes and political rallies, then it's not such a bad thing. But then for me, Bana, there are things on my bucket list, things I have to do. So, are things I'd really like to do. So, date ikuje, but I want to know the date. The cause, Bana. Nah.
It's all right.
Now I think a question to Purity as well. Before you ask me a question, you look like you want to ask me a question.
Oh, yes.
Now, Purity, would you rather know everything or be amazing at any activity you tried?
I'd rather be amazing at every activity I tried. Knowing everything, I'll know things that won't help me in life. I think I'll know things that will break me. I'll know things that will hurt me. And I think I'd rather not know. See, the famous statement that what doesn't kill you, I mean, what you don't know does not hurt you. But being amazing at everything, or rather every activity I do, I think that will be a good thing in terms of goodness.
Okay.
Because you'd rather know everything.
But if you're good at useless things,
Exactly the point.
At least it's an activity I'm
and like if you're good at weird things like stalking people,
I mean, you're so amazing.
amazing
people.
stalker.
You help people who need people to be stalked for them. So it will be a tool eventually that it's for positive things.
And if you're good at spoiling things,
That's even better. you know, like you remember when we were small watching Cartoon Network, Didi and Dexter. Hello, dear brother, what have you got there? When I was young, I used to say when I grew up, I want to be Didi. So
that's just strange.
But it's okay.
But it's okay. You do you.
Just be. So you have a question for me?
Yes, Sammy.
I
know you love football
Sure I do.
and you love music.
Sure I do.
Will you rather lose the ability to do anything musical or the ability to play football?
Wow. That's tough. You know, in fact, saying it in front of a camera
Sema.
and just saying it. You know, if I get spiritual, I mean, you become what you say, what you. Aye.
I told you.
And you told me.
so can you make it a bit harder? A hint on how you're making your choice. Just imagine if whatever you're choosing, it's a wish you've made.
Well, don't say that I'm spiritual.
It's you giving your answer. It's your answer. It can only be wrong.
Sawa.
Just
So
play.
this is the thing. Music, I love it because I connect with God. So I would prefer to still have anything musical because I connect with God. With football as well, I do, but not that much. Most of the time is I do it to keep fit, to have fun. I mean, I'm getting old now. It's not something.
If you say so.
It's not something so serious, I would say. I would do it for fun and for ministry as well. So losing ability to play football, that would be the one that I would choose.
But it's strange because for me, I connect with God best when I'm playing football. It's the thing where I connect the most with God. And so for me, it's weird. Because I asked the question thinking that way. Like for some people, some people are happiest under a car repairing it. They feel it's like an act of worship.
Sure.
So for you, football is not that you don't connect with God that way.
I
For you,
do.
Just like the sweating and kicking and winning and losing or whatever, and then just going.
I do connect with God, but not as much as something musical. For me, something musical, I mean, I feel like God is here with me, unlike football.
Football, you leave God outside, so you can go and hurt people
But so he can step on someone while playing football.
and call the referee names that are not in the Bible.
Exactly. You know, sometimes for football, it's about winning.
What do you mean sometimes?
Actually, always.
We know you.
We know
You never play for fun, you play to win.
Exactly. You see, that's the point. I play to win. And when you play to win, you forget, unamwacha God kwa sideline. Yeah, but it happens.
And then you apologize later. Guys, whatever happens on the field stays there.
The
We all
field.
love each other.
Exactly.
Let's go and sing.
Yes, but anyway, it's okay. So I think it's time now you could introduce yourself.
Right. Well, my name is Tony Ouma. I used to work here in Diguna in the youth ministry. Used to meaning I don't work here anymore. But whenever I have the chance, I'd love to visit and hang out. I'm married, and together with my wife, we have 3 children, very beautiful and handsome.
Not for.
And sometimes a bit stressful. Children, they say they don't, as they grow older, it doesn't get easier, just gets different. And I am a pastor in a church. Yes, I am a pastor, even if I look this way. I'm a pastor. like one of two pastors in a church, and my main focus is on the next generation and outreach, like helping. I don't do all the evangelism. I help the church to have an outward focus. So not to look only inward at our needs, but also to look outwards at the needs of the world, especially the need to get to know Jesus as their personal savior. So, yeah, and you have to know this about me. If you want to kidnap me, give me chai.
Oh my goodness. Chai lovers out there.
I'm a chauvinist.
Like, I think it's one of the things, if you had to write a CV, he'd probably put hobbies, chai.
Chai. Wow.
No, hiyo kwa professional qualifications.
Professional qualification.
Professional tea taker.
Accredited.
Wow.
Chai kwanwazoa.
Okay.
You just say it like it's a French word, even though you just create a word going. Sounds intelligent.
Thank you, chauvinist.
Chauvinist.
Chai taker. So now, Tony, now that you've mentioned a bit about what you do, which is in line in ministry, what exactly is ministry for you?
Well, the way I understand the word ministry has something to do with the word minister, and a minister is a servant. So the idea is to serve other people, to use the gifts that God has given me to serve other people. I also like Sami. We are very similar in the sense that we both like music and football. And for me, football is one of the ways I serve God best. I think it breaks barriers, creates opportunities for fellowship and relationships. And music not only connects me to God, but it's a way through which I can connect other people to God as well. So ministry is me using these gifts that God has placed in me to serve others. And the greatest service is to draw them closer to Him. So I'm just like a bridge builder. I create a platform where people can meet with God. So that's what how I would, in a nutshell, somehow define ministry. Yeah.
Nice.
I like the way you put it, that when you think of ministry, you think of minister. And it's a bit off. You know, the way you have Minister of Finance, Minister of Education and all that. It just, a thought that came to my mind, what if this is what they thought of it? What if it was aligned to the same? Maybe we would have a different experience in governance and all that. But it's just a thought. The way you brought it out, ministry, minister. Yeah.
I mean, it is a good thought, because people work for the government are called civil servants.
Sure.
So they are serving us, and the police slogan in Kenya is utumishi wote. So they're supposed to be serving us. Doesn't always work out that way. It's not all bad. There are some policemen who actually do serve. If you're in traffic and they control the traffic, it is a service they provide. And when they stop bad cars from the road and actually get them off the road, or make people afraid to go on the road with bad cars, they are providing a service. And it will be amazing if the government actually provided this service, and if they saw themselves as our servants rather than as our masters. But in many places, in many offices, you actually do get service. You get served well. So it's not all doom and gloom in the country. But yeah, it could be better, definitely. But I will look more at a church context. Like, as pastors, we tend to wait to be served. There's a special chair for the pastor, and parking, and some churches have a special toilet for the pastor. So he's not one of the other guys. He's the guy who's like elevated to a position of like a king or she. And so it's not really service in the sense of I want to lay down my life for you guys. More like, you guys make my life easier, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, so yeah, ministry is service. When done right, and Jesus said it, I mean, the greatest among you is the one who serves the others. And so he did that, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, in you mentioning service and officers of the government, now a question would be, can I use my job or business platform for ministry in the church context, which you said is to reach out to people? I mean, you being the bridge for them reaching out to God.
Yeah. And maybe just to add on that, not just business or job, but I think we can also elaborate a bit also on your gifts and talent, the way you also mentioned, like football or music. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, the word church, it's not like this building we're in on Sunday. The church is the body, the gathering. So there's the universal church, like all of us all over the world, guys who have this faith in Christ as Savior. Then there's the local gatherings, and the local church, where we find community, we find fellowship, we find people who can hold us accountable and support us when we're in trouble. So church in that sense. About the gifts, I think church is somewhere like a service center. Also, you have a church service. You come to get serviced. You come to get worship, like to reconnect with other believers. You can sing you're a musician, you sing alone in the room, but it makes such a big difference when you sing with others. You hear these other voices believing like you, shouting like you, even like a football game. You can support your team in front of a screen at home, but there's a different feeling when you're in a stadium with many other people and you're shouting and you have this sense of unity and common purpose. And so what the service does for us is that remind us we're not alone. The other people feel like us, who go through the same challenges we go through. We encourage each other. But the thing is, we are supposed to take this after we've been serviced, we're supposed to take this newness, this motivation, this wholeness, this renewed focus and motivation into our areas of influence, into our sectors of society. So before I look at people serving in the church with their gifts, I'm first looking at the church going out and serving with their gifts wherever they are. As a pastor, I'm never in the circles that my congregants are in. Like if someone is working in a bank, I go there as a client. I don't go there as someone who's going to provide a service. I go there to get a service. But someone who's working in a bank understands the language of the people who are there, like the technical language and everything. They go through the same challenges there. If that person understands their mandate as a minister of Christ, wherever they are, they're able to use where they already exist, where they're already working, where they're even being paid to be there, to be a light, salt and light, and to shine the light of Christ to their communities. Because you have people who are coming with depression and issues and stress and marital conflict. They're coming to the place of work. And we are coming with our own issues, but we've come back from church. We've really built each other up in the faith. Or from a small group or from some devotion you read or listened to on the internet. And so you're able to tell this guy, can I pray for you? Or I'll pray for you. Or support them and say, I understand, I'm sorry, and I'll think about you and I'll pray for you. Just to shine your light. And some people really just want someone to listen to them. And as a believer, I'll just go to sit there, listen to this person, cry with them if they need that, go for a walk if they need that, whatever they need, share my lunch if they're struggling with their finances. That's how we can use already our influence. But also, like, what you're good at, like there's some guys who are good with, let me stay with the guy who works in a bank. He comes to the church and realizes the pastor is good at preaching, but the pastor has no clue about finances. And when the pastor the church is struggling with the finances, not because the pastor is stealing or is a bad person or whatever, but the pastor is not so good with finances. And I can say, in my line of work, I'm good. I deal with finances all the time. I can help to streamline these things with requisitions and petty cash and receipts and balancing accounts and filing tax returns and whatever. I can help with that. And this person provides a service in something they're already good at. Normally you're paid to do it, now you offer it as a service. Or you work for a media outlet and you bring like the camera know-how or the sound, or you're an event MC and you come and host a church service. We help the church to plan outreach events or other events. They can always bring our gifts or things that it's our profession into the church context and use it for ministry. And the best churches, I think, the churches that work best are those where the staff members, the people employed by the church, are not the ones doing all the work. It's like we have what we call high capacity volunteers, guys who are really good at what they do, and they give this skill set into a church context, and they use it for the glory of God. And when you have the more people you have offering these services, the less ministry fatigue you have. Because this guy, I know I'm once a month, I'm on the camera once a month. So I can offer once a month. The other days in the Sunday, the other Sundays, I'm just sitting in the congregation, enjoying like everybody else. But then this Sunday, first Sunday of every month, it's my turn. So that Sunday, I know I'm not really sitting and enjoying like everybody else. I'm operating the camera. But other Sundays, I'm easy, I'm good. So I think I'm trying to answer both ways, how we can take our faith into our areas of influence where we already are, where we are planted, and how also we can bring whatever we're good at in our skill set into a church context and use it to build up the body of Christ. Long answer.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because that means, I think to settle it down, it will mean that wherever you are, you can definitely be a servant and a minister. It doesn't matter whether it's your job or profession or where you implement your skill and stuff. Yeah, and just to think of it, Tony, when you introduced yourself, you mentioned that you were serving here at the Guna and you left. And for those who know, we know that you're not in Kenya or in a third world, wherever. But the question will be, here in Kenya and Africa, we know that Christianity was brought by the Europeans or Americans or wherever. Like, it didn't begin with us. And like that's where missions are needed. That's where ministry needs to be acquired, like emphasis on. But you're not here, but you're spreading word in a different place where probably it's one of the places where it was channeled from. Will you help us understand why? Because I'm just thinking, if we were introduced to Christ and the Bible and religion, does that mean that's still where it should continue being art? Or is there a need out there? Is there a need again from where it came from?
We were not introduced to religion.
Mm-hmm.
We define religion as man seeking. I say man in the generic sense. Like man or woman, like mankind seeking God and looking for some kind of relationship with the supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was not new to us. We had in every culture, even every tribe in Kenya has its own word for God, and we have the idea of spirits and ancestors and all this interaction with the supernatural. So we understand that. What we were introduced to was the God that revealed himself to first of all to the Hebrews, and even before that to other people in various ways over time. And the Europeans did bring this to us. The Germans played a very big role. And we were introduced to all kinds of denominations. So we didn't just get Christianity, we also got denominational Christianity. We got the Anglican option, the Presbyterian, we got all kinds of things. So some of them stuck. Over time, we developed our own nature, our own variety of whatever was brought. So the greatest movement of churches in Kenya are the free churches, like those were indigenous, established here, with a lot of support or influence from outside, but established here. If you look at Deliverance Church, you look at which church is hitting now? Like House of Grace is moving around.
Churches are also trending.
I mean the churches that they plant anywhere people go there. Nairobi Chapel. These are churches that had some European influence at the beginning, but now if you look across the board, it's just Kenyans. Let me say Africans. So you have a lot of indigenous influence here. And we owned that, we ran with it, because as Africans we already believed. The foundation was there, we believed in something. So just transferred this belief to another focus. So said God revealed himself somehow, so now he's revealed himself in a different way, so now we follow him in the way he's revealed himself through this gospel we were given. And then now I'm in Germany, and Germany has had more than 500 years since the Reformation. That's where Martin Luther told these guys in the Catholic Church, like, you guys, you're not doing everything right. This and this and this needs to change. You cannot buy salvation, you cannot earn it. It's a free gift of grace from the Father. And so he wanted to reform the church. He didn't want to start a new movement. He wanted to reform what already existed. And I lived there for 3 months, actually, where Martin Luther was from, in Wittenberg. And we went to the gate where he hammered the 95 Theses. So this guy didn't want to start something new, but eventually just became that. And so I'm now living and working in a country that has that history, but does not have that confession. And many guys, they know something about the Reformation, something about faith, something about religion. But if I'm in a free church in Germany, if they ask me what I believe, they'll be shocked that I'm a normal Christian, that we don't baptize babies, and that does not make us a sect. We baptize adults because you say you need to be able to confess to know why you're being baptized. We don't do weird things, and we talk normal language. Like we don't have rituals, and we are called my church is called a sect in Germany. So the goal is first to tell people we are normal, we are not a sect. So people are surprised that I'm a pastor because I look like a refugee from another religion. So tell first, I'm not a refugee, I'm a migrant, yes, but not a refugee. And secondly, my profession of faith, I'm a Christian, and I'm a Christian minister, I'm a pastor. So it starts many conversations. But I think it's what we call reverse mission. These guys brought the gospel to us. Over time, they've become a post-Christian civilization. So these guys, they rely on themselves. There's a social net. If you don't have a job, you get some kind of support from the government. You don't have to worry if you don't have a job, if you don't have money. You can be catered for some. I mean, you still worry to some degree, but not like we would worry here. Like here, if you don't go to work, you're doomed. If you don't earn something daily, you're in trouble. There, you can. If you lose your job, you get unemployment benefits and stuff like that. If universal health insurance, you see where your taxes are going. So things work out. So many people don't see a need for God. A friend of mine was saying the other day, we were talking to a friend and I was saying, the main reason most of us Africans believe in God is because we are poor. If we had money, we believe in God because we need something from someone who is stronger than us.
My goodness.
That's the unfortunate reality. That's why some people, if they get a bit more education and money, the God is gone. He was a crutch. And so now you don't need the crutch. Now you can walk. Yeah? You can pay your bills. You don't have to worry about food. You can choose what you're eating. You think about, I need to lose weight. Those are good problems. People don't have money and not worrying about losing weight. Like, I need to eat something, So we have good problems, Like, if I go for a walk, I'm going for a walk. I'm not walking because I don't have... most of us, when you walk because you don't have a car, you don't have bus fare.
Most of us.
If you're doing well, you go for a walk. You are choosing... Like, you drive to work and back, you park the car, and then you go for a walk. So many people in Nairobi, they walk to work because they have to save the money and everything. So many of us, our problem is you're poor. If you have the money, and that's why many civilizations are like what you call the developed nations. Because they have money, they feel they have no need for God. But then there are other problems that people don't realize, the things that money cannot solve. And so one of my responsibilities, or what I feel is my duty in the church I'm in, is to paint the picture of the other world and tell them, in Africa we have so little, and you'd think because you have little, we should not have faith in God. He has not provided. And yet for us, it's the opposite. We have a vibrant and growing and deepening faith because we need Him. The flip side is some Kenyans that I know, when they go to Germany, they struggle with their faith because now the problems you had have been sorted by the government and by your job. You get a job, you work, you earn your salary. You're like, I'm okay. I've not prayed in a month, and I'm not sick. I'm not hungry. What is this God for? And so for me, the challenge is to help people to see, to open their eyes, say, look, there is more. It's not just your job. It does not fulfill you. Your relationships, your hobbies, your networks.
Sure.
There's something more. So the why, the main why I am in Germany, why I feel we need more missionaries in these countries, and pray that God sends more laborers into the vineyard is, I see the need for God in the country. I have conversations with people where this guy needs to hear something about Christ. This guy, when you say, I'll pray for you, they feel good about it. People need attention. So you give them attention and then feel listened to. It's what pastors do. So my main job is I eat and drink, what you call Reverend Rev. Rest, eat, and visit. I rest, I eat, and I visit. And I give attention to people, and I pray with people, and I pray for people, and I try to redirect them to the source of human meaning, which is God. And so that's the why. Yeah. I don't know if I've answered the whole question how you asked it, but I remember the why part. Yeah.
Yes, Rev. Ouma.
I think you've answered Pastor Tony.
Reverend.
Are you a pastor or a reverend?
I'm a pastor.
Okay.
I have to be ordained in a different... It depends on the denomination. Like in our church, in Germany, they don't have the reverend thing.
Okay.
So you have what you call Gemeindereferent. You're like not officially the term pastor, but you do the pastoral work. And then depending on the denomination, if you get a certain qualification, then you can be called a pastor. So for my church, officially for church organization, I'm not a pastor. I'm like a pastoral minister.
Okay.
But for the purposes of our church where I am, I play a pastoral role, so they call me pastor. So on paper, officially, I'm not a pastor. That is coming. COVID has delayed some things. But the nature of the work is everything a pastor does, with no exceptions.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Okay, Pastor Tony. Now, you see, if I could share something here, one of the reasons I'm doing ministry, of course, one is God, and the other thing is I had someone like you who led me to that, and I'm still grateful to that. Now, a question to you is, for us, for normal human beings, let me call it that way. For normal human beings, while you grow up and you go to school, you have like big dreams. I want to become a doctor. I want to become a pilot. I want to become, whatever. But now here we are, like the three of us. We are ministers. We are doing ministry. Could you share, journey, how you came to that place?
How I came to ministry?
Yeah.
Where?
And why?
Why? How and why? With diagrams.
And tables.
20 marks.
20 months. Discuss. Well, I always call myself, I say that I'm a pastor by mistake. It was not intentional. That's not a bad thing. How many people have this journey and this story of how God came in a dream and go ye, like deep voice, good godly voice.
Tony.
Go ye and reach the nations. Never happened for me. I went to university, Maseno, and there I met like there's a it was in the village in the bush. So if many people coming from many towns in Kenya. So it is a mixture of all these like cultures from Mombasa and from Embu and from Kisumu, from Nairobi, from all these places, from Kijabe, fine. And we meet in one place and we're like, it works somehow. Our theme was like a motto of unity in diversity. We even had people like Mkorino, like with the turban. We had all kinds of people in that group. So unique, so amazing. So you learn from so many different people. And I just got into it. Did every ministry possible. The dancing, the singing, the football, everything. I did every ministry possible, even ushering, but mostly because my drunk friends, football friends used to come to the service and interrupt us, and so because I knew them, it was my job to usher them out of the hall. So I was an usher. Emergency usher.
Out of the hall.
Yeah, out of the hall, not for in.
Welcoming usher.
I'd meet them later and they were feeling so bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. Now that you're drunk, you cannot run away. Have you heard about Jesus? No, but after I was done with in my last year of university, 2004, I went for commission conference. So now you all know how old I am. In 2004, still in university. I went for commission conference in Kabarak. There's an altar call. Everyone wants to go for multicultural mission. And I was like, you guys go for the altar call. You guys go for the commissioning. You do you. And I sat and I was like, good for those guys. I'll pray for them. That was in December 2004. March 2005, I'm in attachment in Kisii. And I get a phone call from a friend of mine. Would I be interested in doing a short-term mission? So I said, yeah, I'm just finishing attachment, have some time to burn. So I came to Nairobi. It was a mission with guys from Northern Ireland. They'd come for a 2-week mission to Kenya, to Loitoktok, then the border with Tanzania. Went for the 2-week mission, so I'm already in cross-cultural mission. I never went for the altar call. So we'd finished that. I got to university for my last semester. I'm done in August. And so August 2005, I say, I will not hurry to get a job. I just chill and wait and see what comes. And I used to wake up at 5, pray for 15 minutes, go back to sleep. Just consistently, short time, and I get another phone call from a friend like, Tony, there's something you can do for 1 year. Like, would like to serve God for 1 year. So I thought it's a good idea. I'm not really sure. I just want to jump into the job market yet. My parents are giving me pressure. Go get a job. We need the income, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm still feeling like I'm not. Used to have Mzungu problems. Which African family, like you've cleared university, you're at home waiting on the Lord. So anyway, I said yes. And that's how I came to Diguna, actually. So they were preparing a group for 6 months. And the group went to Germany for 3 months during the World Cup. So we were doing football and skits and music and everything. All I could do at that point was football. I started learning how to sing, learning how to play the guitar. So football was the thing I did best. And so we went to that group and came back. Invited to join Diguna. I went home, took some time again. Prayed and then came back to join the team. So that's how I started the life of ministry. Just like I said, God, 1 year and then I'll get a job. So by the time I'm done with the A team, like this team that went to Germany, by the time I'm done with that team, now I get a job offer. I can actually go work. You get a job offer. Nice problems. So I get I can go work. I've done the 1 year for God, I can go get money and live nicely. But then it didn't leave me this feeling of I didn't even want to live in Germany. I was happy with everything I learned there, and I wanted to come and use it in Kenya. So good ideas I can come and implement. That's what I was doing. Borrowing ideas heavily, not stealing, borrowing. coming, tweaking and adjusting them to a Kenyan context, applying them, even stuff I learned in Islands, because I grew up in Umoja, and then those things, applying them here, like a kids football league and stuff like that. And so 1 year became 2 years, became 3, became many years. At some point, I thought this is enough. I had like ministry fatigue. I'm tired, I'm burnt out. And I translated my documents into German. I thought I can do a master's in whatever I learned in uni. And then God, that's the thing I can feel like God talked to me then. Yeah, because those ones He provided so amazingly, like the finances. And I felt like He was telling me, you know what, if it's about money, I can always provide. But my conversation with you is never going to be about a lot of money. It's going to be about you being obedient and you doing what I've gifted you to do. And that's how I ended up saying, okay, let me do this. Let me come back to Kenya, 2016. Come back to Diguna, because when I'm in Kenya, I think well. My mind is open. I'm at my most creative. It's because the place and the culture and language and food that I know I'm familiar with. So I feel like my feet are on the ground, and I can really process many things. And I lost a lot of confidence and a lot of energy and motivation, so I gained it back. That's the time like you guys are joining the team, and we're getting to know each other and going for ministries and stuff. And with that team, people think I did a lot of stuff for them, but you guys did a lot of stuff for me. And like people filling your house and they've come to eat. There are many houses with lots of food, but when people come to your house, it shows you not only provide a service like food, you're also providing. People feel loved and welcome and accepted and seen, and that did a lot for myself, my wife and I. That did a lot. So I got a lot of confidence. My confidence came back when I was here, and so at some point I realized that I have nothing to do. Because you guys had learned the job so well. You know how they say work yourself out of a job? In my case, it went a bit too fast. So I was doing my theology degree at the same time. So I'm in the office, and nobody's calling me or writing to me and saying there's a problem, there's a crisis. And then I went to Germany for 4 months. And when nobody ever called me like there's a crisis, there's a problem, and I came back, I just had to maybe sort 1 or 2 things. But that's normal, yeah? But like I was not needed. And I was like,
that sounds bad.
That's a good problem. I felt bad, if I'm honest, because how can you not need me? It's me.
I mean, it's
They
you.
need me. But nobody, like, guess, like, oh, it's okay.
Everything is kind of.
And even if one person is not there or cannot do it or whatever, other guys fill in the gap. I was like, what? Nobody's calling me even as an emergency backup. The guys are even covering themselves, you know, like. So I realized there's nothing I cannot grow anymore. And after heavy consultations, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. We said, okay, let us try Germany again. If God gives us an opportunity, then it's Him showing us that's the way for the moment. And if everything is blocked, then we staying in Kenya, we'll figure it out. So I went there, applied 2 or 3 organizations, and then the last one was this church. Now where I'm at right now, and we agreed if it works out with this church, then it's Germany. If it doesn't work out, I will not think about Germany again. It'll be Kenya. I say for me, in a ministry setting, I'm like a frog. I am okay in the water and on the land. I'm okay in Kenya. I'm okay in Germany. I love it here. I love it there. We did pros and cons. My ministry story I told you is a weird one. Like even like things that speak for Kenya and against Kenya, for Germany against Germany. Just everything was okay. We can live here, the challenges. We can live there, the challenges. Just a decision for what the German word is like, handle. We make a deal with God and say, if this works, like this fleece thing with which one was that one? Not Gabriel, Gideon. The fleece thing. If it works out, it's good. If it doesn't work out, then it's Kenya. It worked out, and it worked out in a very weird way. I went for a church interview. I forgot my jeans at home. I came with my tracksuit. I looked like I was going for a football game, and I'm being interviewed in front of the whole church.
Wow. And
they're asking me questions and everything. And I'm there, and I told the other guy, sorry, I forgot my jeans at home. So that the guy interviewing me is dressed well, Bana. He's like, Tony, I feel overdressed. I'm like, it's not you, it's me. But the thing is, the guys were like, they looked beyond how I'm dressed, and they looked at my heart and what I was offering. They looked at my CV, the ministry experience that I have. They knew I was still doing my theology, like I was still learning, because I have a degree in something else. So now I was now doing a theology degree. They're like, Nah, so you're on the way.
Mm.
We can only benefit if you get better. So
True.
that's how I ended up in this church.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as I said, ministry and me, it's a funny story. And so, guys, don't go anywhere. See you soon.